All right, so we're past all the other stuff. Time to take your very first step on roller skates. Now, when it comes to getting started on roller skates, the first thing that I want to say is start off on some sort of controlled, textured surface. All right, you don't want to start off immediately rolling, because the first thing you're going to notice as soon as you put these skates on is that they're skates and not shoes. And I don't mean that to be funny. I'm being super serious. Like, you have 8 wheels under your feet and you literally don't know how it feels to have 8 wheels on your feet right now because you're so new to roller skating. So put these wheels on, stand in the grass, stand on the carpet, stand on the side of the rink, stand on a grippier surface so you don't roll away on accident. And then let's just go over some of the basics. A good skate posture, a good ready position while you're getting ready to do your skate techniques is going to be feet shoulder width apart, knees slightly bent, upright in my body, postured slightly forward, but my shoulders are back, my head is up. If I'm skating backwards, my head is going to be over my shoulder, but we're not talking about that right now. My head is up on a swivel, watching out for anything that might get in my way. If you're in the skating rink and you got other people around or little kids, we call them moving cones, moving obstacles, then you need to have your hands at the ready as well so that you can protect your space and make sure that nobody's going to take you out, right? So this is our ready position. From here, I want you to just start stepping in your skates side to side. I want you to feel what it's like to actually just pick your feet up, shifting that weight from left foot to right foot, all right? And just kind of give it a rocking type of motion, all right? Do this for a little bit. Try stepping, doing some side steps across, all right? And just get used to that motion. And then the other thing that I want you to do is lean on your skates, all right? Rock and dip that weight into your hip, right? Like you're getting impatient and you waiting at the grocery store, you cock that hip out, that mama at the store, you know what I'm talking about. Put that weight on that leg, right? And what that is you're putting weight on your outer edge. So let me go ahead and explain. We've got a lot of skate vocabulary to talk about as well as skate techniques. So you have 3 edges. You have your outer edge, you have your inner edges, and then you have center edges, right? Where you're just even on all your wheels. What that means is I'm putting pressure to the outside parts of my boot and the inside parts of my boot. And what that does when you're rolling is it allows you to curve and do these turning motions, right? Edges are extremely important because depending on what edge you're on, it'll determine what direction you go. It will smoothen out your moves. It will determine how balanced you are. Like, for example, if I told you to lift one foot up right now, you would probably go like this and your weight would naturally go to your outer edge because that's the more stable edge, and that creates a center line for some of your weight to hang out this way and some of your weight to hang out that way without you losing balance and tipping over, right? And so we're just gonna rock side to side and feel those inner and outer edges. These are just stationary things you can do to start to get used to it. I know it's pretty plain and boring, but that's a good starting place to be. Now let's get into going forward and achieving your first stride on roller skates, all right? And it's not gonna be as magnificent as you think. We're in our ready position, and then we're just gonna take some short steps like this. We call this marching, all right? And when you do this, you wanna point your toes out into a V type of shape, all right? And right now, since we're on this textured surface, I'm not gonna roll away. But what this looks like as soon as you hop on the floor is you start moving, all right? And you get some momentum. Now, if this is your first time on skates, it probably won't come out that clean. That's okay, all right? As long as you're doing all those parts correctly, then you're on the right path, all right? One thing I wanna emphasize is if I'm doing this and my feet are parallel facing forward, you see I don't go anywhere. But as soon as I angle my feet out and I'm literally doing that same rock side to side, you see that it's like magic. You start to move. That's that skate shop magic, all right? So that is how you achieve your first stride. Pick your feet straight up and down. All right, look, if I asked you what do you imagine when you think of a roller skater? Most people would think this. It's like stride, right? This guy aggressively pushing from side to side. So what happens is people hop on roller skates and they try to imitate what they think they see. But let me go ahead and let you in on a little secret right now. For everything roller skating, it's never like what you see. Because especially early on, or if it's something you don't even know what you see. You don't even understand what's going on. So you're seeing the wrong thing. You're paying attention to the wrong spots. You're catching the wrong details. All right. A lot of people are going to see that image in their mind of a roller skater like this, and then they're going to do this. Right. And they're going to be stumbling around and you're going to be losing your balance. And it's okay. If that's you, it's okay. We all start somewhere. All right. But I'm telling you, just pick your feet straight up and down and angle your feet out, and you will get the motion that you're looking to get. It's not glamorous, all right? But as you build strength, as you build your balance, and as you build your confidence, this little marching step can turn into longer steps, which eventually gives you that stride, all right? The purpose of this technique is to trick you into doing the correct thing in order to achieve a stride, all right? And what that is it's showing you how to transfer your weight properly from one foot to the other. And when you push off of the correct edges and you're moving your weight from side to side, then you get a clean stride. But you don't know anything about anything right now. So right now, you're probably in the phase of simply introducing your body and your muscles to this new skate thing that you're trying to do, right? So the most important part is that you just get reps in, all right? And when it comes to repetitions and practice, if you want a brutally effective approach to getting better, count in 100s, all right? 100 steps, 100 laps, however you want to frame it, but count in 100s, all right? Because a lot of people will try something like 5 or 6 times, maybe a dozen times, and be like, I can't get it, it's not for me. But I'm here to tell you that almost nothing in life comes easy, all right? Everything takes practice. Everything takes practice. And I also guarantee you that you're not gonna enjoy roller skating if you're not good at it. So I'm telling you how to get good at it. It takes a lot of practice, all right? And so commit to this for the long haul. This is not something that's gonna happen overnight. You literally need to build strength and flexibility and muscle memory, which only sets in once you're asleep after a good focused practice session. So with that being said, everything is going to take time. Now that we're getting our first couple steps, I want you to start trying to get some laps, whether that's straight forward and back or in a circle in whatever small or big space you're in, okay? So a quick little drill that you can do for this one before we move on to the next move is try marching in place for a couple steps. And then for the next 5 steps or 10 or whatever, angle your feet out and then try to get a little bit of roll and then straighten them again and then focus only on the steps, even if you're rolling, because it's going to help you get a feel for the balance and for the sensitivity of how much angle you need to create in your skates in order to get a certain amount of speed. Greater angle creates greater speeds. All right, so if you feel like, I'm going too fast, then use less angle. All right, so for the next technique, I'm gonna show you how to do forward bubbles. I'm gonna demonstrate what it looks like, and then we're gonna break it down, all right? So here's the forward bubbles. Forward bubbles is gonna be moving both of your feet out and in simultaneously. So they're both moving at the same time. And this is gonna take some strength, all right? And this technique is good if you don't wanna pick up your feet, which is okay. If marching doesn't work out for you as far as like how comfortable or natural it feels, usually bubbles is the next best option for you. So it's not necessarily one is better than the other, but people have preferences. All right. And so in order to start this, our feet are going to be pointed out. We're still in our good skate posture, ready position. Our toes are out. I'm going to drive that weight into the heels of my skate as I roll out, all right? And chances are, if you take your posture and you aim your feet out and you just relax, you're gonna feel your wheels roll out like that, okay? And if they don't, you probably need better bearings, or you're probably just on a really rough, sticky surface or got grippy wheels, all right? So once we're here, you're like, well, KJ, how do I get back up, all right? I'm not trying to do the splits out here, okay? I got you. So in order to bring your feet out and in, you need to be able to do this. Bubble technique utilizes two positions that we refer to here as turn out and turn in. All right, this turned in position is like your pigeon-toed, and this turned out position is like your bow-legged or something, right? I'm pretty sure dancers refer to that as turn out as well. Sometimes skaters refer to this as the eagle spread or the open book. We're gonna be talking about all of those things after a while, but this is a fundamental skate position that you need to be strong in. It usually incorporates hip flexibility and a lot of groin strength, all right? That inner quad strength. You can practice alternating between these positions in place. And the way that you should do that is by placing your weight in your heels and dragging your toes in and out, okay? We like to call this the windshield wiper technique. So if you think about a windshield wiper arm, it goes side to side on the car, and there's a single point at which stays in place, and the other point is constantly going side to side. So you can practice this 1 foot at a time. You can stick that foot out so that you can try it nice and easy, and then you can put your weight over it and then try to do the same thing to get a more realistic feeling of how it's going to be once your body weight is on it. And then you can try both of your feet at the same time to practice this method. So we're using the windshield wiper method to go in and out with our bubbles. The closer your feet are on the in and the further out your feet are on the out gives you more runway to gather more speed and momentum, right? And so you want to start here and roll out and then pull it in before it gets too far. Because if you end up all the way out here, you're going to have a real hard time turning those feet in and pulling. One important thing that I should bring up about this technique is you're going to find yourself pulling really hard on your leg muscles and getting tired and probably worn out and all these different things. In general, in the beginning of your skate journey, you're always gonna overwork. You're probably gonna be firing off all these unnecessary muscles that you don't need to do the movement because you don't know what works and what doesn't work. You don't have the muscle memory. That's okay. But I will say that if you feel like you're getting way too tired for this, then you're probably not using enough technique. The windshield wiper technique is finesse. You have to distribute the weight inside of your boot very precisely, all right? So I've got about 80% of my weight in my heels and probably like 20% of my weight into my toes, which allows my toes to move so smoothly. This technique is useful not just in beginner level things, but advanced level things as well. Like let's say a 1 foot spin where my foot is on the ground, that's with the windshield wiper technique. So at all levels, this is why it's a fundamental and not just some beginner thing. And this is why I always push people to hop in our fundamentals class. All right, there's a couple other things I want to go over with the bubble technique. Number one, you can use your body in order to make the bubble easier. All right, and what I mean by that is when I roll out, I'm dropping my body into the motion. And then when I'm coming up, I'm pulling with my legs. All right, so I drop and then I pull my legs together. You're squeezing your legs together like you're trying to close them like this, all right? So think adductor machine from like Planet Fitness where you're like sitting down and you're doing these little leg things. That's the exact muscle that we need, all right? And that's really one of the primary skate muscles. And as far as practicing the bubbles, I would say straight line first, then try to do it in different directions so that you can just kind of get used to what it feels like to distribute your weight in different places in order to get that curve while you're doing bubbles. So that's how you do the bubble technique.